You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast, hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.
What's cracking YouTube? This is your boys Oversaturated Podcast. I'm Ralph.
Johnnie.
Hey, this is your first time to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like our content, make sure you hit the notification bell so you can stay in tune with what we got going on. And if you like this video in particular, hit that thumbs up button. But you know why you're here. You know why you're here. Yep. Usually when you see these faces and our computers are down, this is not a podcast.
This is not.
This is a show review, movie review, some type of random review that we want to give to you straight exclusively for YouTube. Loki, episode 4.
Oh, man.
Episode 4. What was the name of this episode?
Nexus Event.
Okay, Nexus Event. Yeah. Johnnie. Hold on, before we get into that, if this is your first time, you know how we do. I mean, if you don't know how we do, we usually say we're going to go just a brief recap and then we go get into the nuts and bolts of this show. So, hey, spoiler alert if you haven't seen episode 4 by now. Johnnie, what did you think about this episode?
My guy, my dear pal. I'm noticing a pattern with these episodes. I'm noticing a pattern.
Oh no.
We start off slow. It's a bunch of I don't want to say useless because I feel like that's a little harsh.
Yeah, but no, go ahead.
But we have a lot of dialogue, and then the last 5 or 10 minutes or so of the episode, it's like, bam, we get the information we need. You know, it's lit. And I didn't expect this from the series Loki. I would have expected that from something else.
We put a lot of pre-praise into this show before, the show came out. We felt like this was going to be the one.
We did, because based off of the hits that WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Cap. We don't know.
Based on the success of those series, this is Loki. Like, fam, we've had Loki since fucking 2012. Or no, before that. The first Thor, we've had Loki since then. We all love Loki. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I can't wait. And it's not completely terrible. It's just boring at some point. Oh, wow. It's boring. That's what I'm looking for. Wow. It's boring up until the last 5 or 10 minutes of each episode.
I actually don't share that same sentiment. I thought this was a great episode.
Really?
I thought this was like... Now, I will say this. It steps up from the first 3.
Oh, no. Well, no, I agree.
And maybe that's what it is. But I was like, oh, this is the one. Like, we getting a lot of answers. And, we're starting to see where this thing could possibly go. But I enjoyed what happened. I enjoyed this.
I mean, definitely the opening scene was like, oh, shit. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, it's like, man.
Okay, let's get into it. Opening scene was young Sylvie, which I didn't really recognize because they casted the little girl. I don't think she looked like Sylvie at all.
Well, I don't know.
Well, to me, she didn't. Okay. Yeah. She's a brunette, she's blonde now. That makes sense, right?
I just figured this is Asgard. It's a young girl. It gotta be Sylvie.
Yeah. Well, all right, fair enough. But no, it's interesting that they chose that different view of Asgard because we never seen it from behind in that manner. And then you see Ramona, who was A23 at the time, who was a lead Minuteman going on a mission to retrieve young Sylvie. So I thought that was interesting. You see her, she's going through the entire TVA process of being booked.
Well, let's go back to that for a second, okay? Because A23, she comes and gets Sylvie. She reads her rights. Yeah. You're in violation of a Nexus, whatever she said. Yeah. All she was doing in that moment was playing with her, playing with her toys. Mm-hmm. They never said what the Nexus event was. What is it about that child? She's a child. She's a kid here. Mm-hmm. Like that to me, that was significant and it was crazy because why would you just out of nowhere just come and grab this child for a Nexus event that has never even happened? So are you saying because usually from what we've seen, they go and get variants, you know, as they become a variant or as the Nexus event is about to happen in that moment. Like when Loki took the Tesseract and he flew off, you know, went off, they came and got him right then. All she was doing was playing with her toys. So I feel like that's significant. Like that's crazy that they just grabbed her for nothing basically.
This may be a plot hole, but maybe I'm putting something on it. But maybe I think that Sylvie wasn't supposed to exist in that world. I'm not sure if this is an alternate Asgard or if this is what, you know.
She wasn't. Wait, you said she wasn't supposed to exist?
I thought that's what we got to, because she's not supposed to be existing in the regular timeline. Like whatever world timeline she's from is not supposed to exist, right?
But she was born though.
I'm saying, like, it wasn't supposed to exist, right? That's always been my understanding of alternate Lokis. Or alternate timelines. It's not supposed to exist.
And I guess maybe that's where I'm confused, because it's like
this time travel stuff.
Like
it's not easy to follow,
because it's again we saw the holograms of various Lokis, like hella Lokis.
Yeah.
Where do those Lokis come from if there's only one timeline?
If it's a supreme timeline. Yeah. I definitely get with you on that. I think it's definitely hard to follow, especially like little nuances like that when they've always been kind of, I wouldn't say made plain, you know, like dumbed down, but it always kind of had a level of like understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even with a little bit of research. But just getting back to the story, like you see young Sylvie go through the whole TVA process. You see her actually getting ready to see the judge, right? And you see how the TVA used to look and how Ravonna actually, you know, moved up the ranks, right? So young Sylvie takes her time pad. What's it called? Time pad.
Let's say time pad.
Okay, time pad. I'm being so typical. Okay. But no, it's just like she steals her time pad and then she dips off.
She dips off, which is crazy because like how she know how to use this?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like I think it's understood because she's probably seen her use it.
In her getting captured and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's how it works because you know Lokis have a. You know, even though she don't go by Loki, they have a level of intelligence, and they just see and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah, bet, right. so that's what happens, right? And then that's the opening scene, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we
pretty much
start the episode.
So you kind of get that backstory.
Yes.
You see that Ravonna A23 has a history with Sylvie. Right,
and that's. Almost the basis of this episode. At least we get back into it toward the end. So after this scene, we go back to Lamentus 1, which we saw in episode 3.
Yep.
And death is coming. Like they don't have a way to get off the planet. They don't have a way to get back to the TVA.
Yep.
So they sit down. Sylvie and Loki, they sit down with each other. They exchange pleasantries. And meanwhile this is happening. B-15.
Yeah.
B-15 and Mobius, they're still looking for Loki and Sylvie. And then Loki and Sylvie share this moment because they about to die. You know, emotions flare. They touch each other. Boom, Nexus event happens. This is how the TVA finds Loki and Sylvie. Bring them in. Now last review, I think I mentioned that I thought maybe they would fall in love, or
I think we're gonna get to that.
We saw a glimpse of it then, which is nuts to me. Like
I think in that moment they felt that death was imminent, right? So, you know, we've been sharing and bonding, you know, and we about to die. You know, maybe emotions come up in those disastrous moments.
Yes, that's true. That's facts.
So I will say that.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, they pull them in, they go they got momentum in for Sylvie because she's the variant that they've been looking for.
Yeah, she's been the most dangerous variant they've ever had, that they've been hunting since the beginning of the series. They finally got her.
Yep.
Like they've been trying to they've been trying to catch her since episode 1, and finally they got her, right? So she gets more security. But Mobius takes Loki, puts him, what do you call it? A time loop. Put him in a time loop with Lady Sylph. Shout out to Lady Sylph. We haven't seen her in a minute.
Wow,
right? But basically, Mobius put Loki into that time loop to break him down, to weaken his mind, so he can actually be able to talk to Mobius in that moment.
But one thing that happened before he went into the time loop, he told Mobius the truth about the TVA. So now it's in Mobius' brain about that. He was like, "You're all variants," and that was enough for Mobius to be like, "What?" But now we're kind of jumping ahead because remember when they were arresting. They were arresting Sylvie. I mean, well, obviously they brought Sylvie and Loki in, and maybe this happened before Loki was taken in, but there was Ravonna and Mobius having a conversation about C20.
Right.
Oh, and then she's like, "Hey, what happened to C20? How's she doing?" "Oh, she died. She dead." Like, what? Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait, time.
How did we get here?
And usually that's a big moment, and it's kind of predictable. I will say that it's good to see, but it's still predictable when they have such a character that they kind of put you in front of, and then they die. And off camera. No, that don't work.
We can't do that.
No, they don't work like that. That might have been after Mobius hears the information about variants and things like that. We all variants, and then you go out to talk to Ravonna. Now she's lying. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lie.
Because that was after Mobius put Loki in the time loop.
Yeah.
Got you.
So I feel like that was an obvious, it's a trope that most movies in this vein or shows in this vein kind of do. Like, nah, we know something bigger is at play. When you say a person just randomly dies off camera.
Right. Which we see a little bit more of that later on in the episode.
Yeah.
But now, Sylph is in the time loop, breaks down Loki. He gets to a point where he says, "You know what? I know I'm trash. Like, I didn't, I did it because I'm a lonely man. I'm a lonely guy. I just need friend." Like, he really got broken down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He gonna die alone. That's what she said.
He ended up saying it himself, which is even more crazy. But at this point, Mobius is a little bit more suspicious now. Yeah. So he actually goes back into the time. Oh no, that's after this.
Yeah. It's something in the middle of that block there.
Is that when B-15 and Sylvie go?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Because now that you know that the enchantment has a level of unlocking consciousness and things like that, B-15 wants to know what you do to me. So she first of all, B-15 clearly is the head Minuteman, head woman in charge, right? So when she pulls up and asks for certain things, they're gonna just say, "Okay, cool." Yeah. So she goes to see the variant, Sylvie. They go back to the catastrophe. Roscoe. And they're standing there in the rain. One thing I didn't like about this, like when she said, "Can I see it?" We would like to see what
she saw.
I think that would have been well played to see that, because obviously we saw what C20's life was like, at least the type of place that she liked to go, right? The restaurant, the margarita, like the drink choice, that type of thing. Right. So it would have been good for B-15 to see that. Right. I mean, for us to see that. For us to see
that, yeah. Because I would love to see what her life was like before. And she said to herself, she said I seemed happy or something like that.
It was like for me to kind of understand that I had a life before this, all this work I've been doing, which probably makes her a little bit miserable. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it like this: how she treats variants.
Well, I think the thing with that is she thought she was created by the TVA, so this is all she's known, quote unquote. So it's like she's been taught variants are bad. You need to treat them this way. So this is how I'm gonna treat you. I think
her viewpoint. Yeah. That's true. I think her viewpoint changed obviously when she saw that there's a life outside of me. I can see that I was happy, and that's why I said I think she's miserable in her job. she does the job of catching variants and other things very, very well. But I don't think that she enjoys it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you do it well, but don't mean you enjoy it. Right. That's why she said I looked happy.
That's nuts, man. But then we get this whole interaction between Mobius and Loki, right? So The first time Mobius goes to get Loki out of the time loop, they sit down. They have another discussion. Mobius is trying to figure out what his and Sylvie's plan is. And there's more exchange, more lies going back and forth. But Mobius
both flying to each other. It's crazy.
It's nuts. But Mobius gets to a point where he's lying, saying that Sylvie has been pruned, has died, and we can see the emotion coming off of Loki. Like he actually likes it. Like we see in this moment that Loki likes Sylvie, and I think that's a big plot. A big plot thing there. It's like, okay, that may be like a extinction level Nexus event that the TVA may have been trying to prevent. Them actually liking each other, because we saw a glimpse of it when they touched hands and they shared that moment on the Ventus One.
That's interesting.
Which we'll actually get more into later on in the episode.
That is interesting. Mobius goes to see Ramona in her office. He asks about C20, I believe. He asks more about the TVA. And
now this is after Loki tells him that they're all
variants. Like he actually sits down and tells him that, and then he puts him back in the time loop. But he goes to have this conversation. So they're having a conversation in the office, and he can tell that Ramona's just lying to his face, lying, like you. And this is one thing I enjoyed about Ravona's character. Like, you never seen her visibly kind of like lost for words. She's always very sure about how she's going to answer and what she's going to say. Right. But she knows that Mobius, they have a relation. Like, they're here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's tough for her to tell these lies to Mobius. Maybe everybody else. But Mobius, I think they do have a friendship. Yeah. Which we'll explore a little bit later too.
Right, yeah. That's why I keep saying the last 10 or so minutes, man, it was crazy.
I got you. And then, okay, now Mobius pulls back up in the time loop after Loki is visibly broken now. Loki ain't got nothing else.
He ain't got nothing left for you. He got nothing left for you, bro.
And so he pretty much, they pretty much get together. They was like, look, you done lying? Like, you done with the...
Listen, so even before he went back in the time loop, he switched the time pad.
That's a big point.
He switched his time pad with Ravona's, right? Yeah. Goes back to the library. Pulls.
That's a great. Talk about that.
Pulls up the interrogation of C20, and C20 was basically saying, "Yo, like I had a life before this. What's happening? Why am I here? What is going on?" And then we hear Ravona say something like, "I'm stopping the interview," or something like that. And Mobius zooms in on her face to verify that it's her.
You know what's so trash?
What?
She got into the camera frame and didn't look back.
She did.
Come on, man.
We had to know it was her.
Come on,
man. But we could tell by her voice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why we had to do that? Like, that was one part I was like, all right, Marvel. Right, exactly.
Shit, hella funny. So now Mobius realizes everything Loki has said about the TVA, and then my man was telling the truth. So now he goes back in the time loop. Loki, bro, like I believe you.
You was right.
Can we trust each other? Can you trust a friend? Like now they calling each other friends and shit.
That was, I ain't gonna lie, I got emotional when that happened. I was like, oh.
Now we hear that. Now we hear that. Right? So come out of the time loop, boom, right into the room that he was interrogating in. Ravona's here. 4 TVA, 4 Minutemen.
Like, hey,
standoff of all standoffs now.
She was like, hey, she had on the Janelle Monáe suit. I think it was like, hey, I think you got something that belongs to me. He's trying to play it off. Oh man, I didn't realize I picked it up until just now and all that type of shit. But he went straight to the juggler. He's like, look, if you go do that, just did I have a life before this? He just cut straight to the shit because he knows.
Yeah, like it's not time for play now. Early in the episode, Ravona asked Mobius, if you could go anywhere on the timeline, where would you go? So now Mobius decides to answer that. You know what? I think I would want to go back to where my life was before. Maybe I had a jet ski. In that, immediately, she tells to prune him. Yep. What the? Like, you just gonna kill Mobius like that? You just gonna kill Mobius? Wait, time out. Are we really just gonna do that? We've been invested in Owen Wilson. Like, yo, what? I literally yelled at the TV. I said, yo.
I was like, yo.
Whoa.
Like, that's what we doing? But
on the Game of Thrones shit.
Exactly. Nobody's safe. But it's interesting because, like, I think Ravonna knows that whatever she's concealing and whatever she's doing is bigger than her and Mobius's relationship. So that's why.
High stakes.
Because you can tell she was like,
she was a little. She was hurt by. She was hurt by.
I really don't want to do this.
But even in her being hurt, like no hesitation in having him
because
like it's that deep.
Whatever I gotta deal with, you can't you gotta let me. You gotta let me rock.
That was crazy. That was nuts.
So Loki, they pull up and get Sylvie. They looking for B. I think Ravonna asked about B-15. B-15 was somewhere else, right?
Yeah. So Ravonna went to go get Sylvie out of her interrogation room.
Yeah.
But they went to Roxcart. So since Sylvie is missing, she's like, where is Sylvie? And they told him B-15 took her. So now she put out an APB for B-15. Like, all right, she's been compromised, but no, she hasn't been compromised. She saw the light. She saw the truth now.
She saw the truth. Yep.
How did they even get Sylvie back? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. Like, that's weird. Right?
That's a plot hole. It gotta be.
Because they did get her back. Like,
because they walked Sylvie and Loki to the timekeepers.
There's a part in there we're missing. But obviously, let's just jump to the elevator scene. I want to get to that. Like, okay, Sylvie is like Loki's just like, it is what it is.
Right.
Like, whatever. Sylvie's like, do you even remember like the day you came and got me? And Ravonna with this menacing look, she was just like, I remember. And she was just like, do you remember what's for? No. Like, no.
So Sylvie was asking, like, she asked Ravonna, like, what was the Nexus event that caused you to come get me? And she smirked and said, I don't remember. She know. She just didn't want to say it.
It's funny because, like, in that situation, I really thought about the Street Fighter movie when Chun-Li and M. Bison had an exchange. She was explaining the day that M. Bison and his troops came to her village. And he was like, the day that M. Bison graced your village, installed order, and all this other crazy stuff, it was the greatest day of your life. But to me, it was just Tuesday. That was the same energy. I was like, fam, like, just because, like, because think about it like this. Sylvie's life has inherently been ruined by the TVA. So her life's mission has been to bring the TVA down.
Yes.
And then you actually come close to the person that came and snatched you off the timeline or wherever you was, and you've been hiding out in time since. Plotting your revenge.
That's crazy.
And the person that tells you the stuff that you need for your closure says, I don't know. Yo, I love it. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That was just
that's wild.
That was nuts.
That's wild. Damn, that's crazy. So we're finally introduced to the timekeepers.
Yep.
We got these three.
Don't say it.
What?
I know what you're going to say. Don't say it. Don't say it.
So we got these three individuals sitting on thrones, right? Ravonna has brought Loki and Sylvie to them.
Yep.
Loki and Sylvie, they exchange words with the timekeepers.
Yeah.
And as Sylvie is talking to them, making her case, B-15 comes in, takes their collars off, and now is no holds barred now. They get in this big ass fight. They take down the timekeepers, and we see Sylvie. Okay, all right. So Sylvie cut one of the heads off. Right. It's a robot. And then did you see the way the other two drooped down like Chuck E. Cheese? I was like, oh, that was like, at first I was like, damn, that's hard. But now I'm thinking like, all right, who is doing this now?
I'm like, what in the Wizard of Oz is going on?
Yes, like, oh my God. So first of all, my question is, Does Ravonna know that these were robots, and does she know who is actually the timekeeper?
I believe those questions will be answered, and I will say yes. Because let's get.
Wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Let's get back to it. Right, the fight happens. Ravonna's knocked out. Right, they Sylvie gets the best of everybody. You know, they get the best of all the men. The head is cut off. We see it's robots. Now we got questions. Loki and Sylvie share a moment where you possibly see Loki getting ready to tell Sylvie that he loves her.
That's exactly what was about to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what's about to happen. And then Ravonna, who's not dead, she's merely knocked out, prunes the main protagonist of the show.
Yo! What? No, listen. I watched this. I was sitting on the couch. I'm seeing Loki. I'm like, oh shit, he really about to tell her how he feel. Like, this is new for Loki. He don't know how to do this. My man's is gonna profess his love to himself, basically. The female version of himself, which is, it's very Loki shit to do, right? Literally, I see his heart area start to deteriorate. This man has been pruned. That's nuts. That's crazy. Right? So boom, Loki's gone, right? Mm-hmm. Sylvie, no, I'm not about to kill you. You finna tell me every freaking thing I need to know.
And that's the thing. I think when she said kill her, it's not like in the sense of like I'll never tell. She just knew that whatever she's protecting is so much bigger. You just kill me. I don't want to do this shit. Like it's like you can see it in her face. I don't want to do this anymore.
Nah, bro. All of this is your fault. You finna tell us all the deets.
All the deets.
Now that's the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. Now before we get into predictions for episode 5,
we gotta talk. Let's talk about it.
Did you see the mid-credit scene?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting.
After I almost cried. Come to find out.
Oh yeah, we in alternate timeline now, baby. So it's a lot of questions answered in a sense, right? Well, we know Loki's not dead,
right?
Clearly, we got different Lokis. We're in a world of different Lokis.
But did you notice the background?
Mm-hmm. The Avengers Tower. It was a lot.
That's
It's a lot going on.
What?
Okay, you got old Loki, you got young kid Loki, you got Gator Loki, and then you got Black Loki. And I've heard that his name is Boastful Loki.
I'm not mad at it.
I was like, oh. Loki's are boastful, but why the black one gotta be boastful, fam? All right, let's not make this racial.
Yeah, that's
okay.
not.
All right. But I'm just saying, fam. Come on.
Yeah, so basically Loki isn't dead. Cool. After my almost near shedding a thug tear, Loki is not dead. So
and that's interesting because now it leads you to believe that Mobius is still somewhere.
Yes. So I'm almost happy again. So
then it leads to other questions. Where does all the Poon people go? Like, do some die? Do some go to alternate dimensions? Do some go back home? Where do they go?
Good question because they've been pruning people for centuries, probably.
Yeah.
So where are?
And we've seen people pruned since episode 1. Yes. Like that's been ingrained in our brain. Yep. So even the variant that was supposed to stay in trial before Loki, he was pruned. Yep. That was our introduction to people being pruned. Yep. So let's see, is there how does that work? So episode 4, in my opinion, clearly the best in the series so far to me. Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed the episode. Johnny's still kind of on the fence, but we're invested.
But you know what the wildest thing, thinking back to episode 4 is? Mm-hmm. So Sylvie was taken when she was a kid. She broke free, and she said that she's been living in these extinction level events her entire life. I don't know how old she is in this show. I'm just gonna guess 35. I don't know. But just imagine living in extinction level events since you're a kid for 30 years.
And then that makes me question how old are people that are in the TVA, right? Because Ravonna was grown, seemingly then.
Yes.
And you're talking about, let's just fast forward 20 years.
That's crazy.
Ravonna hasn't aged.
At all. at all. So it's like, how long have these people been here? Is that a
Bible, or is just,
like how long have these people been here for?
And does time freeze for them? Do they not age when they're there?
The more I watch this show, the more I'm starting to question if this is going to tie somehow into Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
It has to.
Because this is crazy.
Okay. Predictions. Let's get to predictions. Episode 5 or the rest of the series. How we want to do it. So clearly we see that the TVA is not run by these timekeepers that are upon these makeshift thrones, like the Chuck E. Cheese reference that you made, right?
Right.
It's crazy. So Ravonna is protecting somebody or some people or something that's bigger than that. I think we might get a Kang the Conqueror reference. I'm not saying we will physically see him, but it might be like how they had they tease Thanos at the end of like Avengers or something like. We might get something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not a full blown like I'm here, bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly, it
has to, like, in my mind now. It has.
I was honestly thinking the same thing because I don't know who else could be behind this. I don't know. Now let me ask you this. Does Loki have a happily ever after with Sylvie?
No.
Nope.
Well, they get ready to have. They're gonna have season 2 of this show. So
you think so? They said that. Oh,
it's been confirmed.
Oh, they got to end up together. Then.
So they got that answers that thing. That's what made me say, like you got to keep her around now.
Yeah.
You got to keep her around.
I didn't know they.
Loki having a love interest extends the life of this show.
Right.
Into,
100%.
Of the series. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only so much you can get out of the buddy cop situation with him and Mobius.
Right.
You got to have a love interest somewhere in the show. That's just how shows and movies work.
If Mobius don't end up on a jet ski in episode 6, I'm gonna be upset.
Do you think Mobius gets set free now that he knows, or do you think he stays on and work TVA cases? But like we discussed, we know the TVA is clearly compromised.
Oh, 100%.
Like now it's out there. Now it's out there. It's compromised.
I think he does, and I think Loki is the one that set him free.
So, do we predict the downfall of the TVA?
Oh, 100%. Now, I don't know what that means for the sacred timeline, but the TVA will be no more after this. It's no way. Like we know it's corrupt. Like we basically on some Hydra shit right now.
Yeah.
We just don't know who the head is.
Yeah. So it's like, even in the sense, what remained of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra still went on to do other things. Hydra is still Hydra. S.H.I.E.L.D. may not be S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore. It's what's the shit?
Oh, Sword.
Yeah,
Sword.
It transitioned into that.
Right.
But how can you build up an agency to tear it down in 6 episodes? It's 6 episodes. Like, we just get used to TVA. So are we getting something else? Like, because I think the idea of time travel probably still would have some level of policing because it's going to get out of whack. So do you have another agency opposite of this, or we just go run Multiverse of Madness on this joint? Like, it's just
I feel like once the TVA is dismantled, whatever survives that, Loki and Sylvie are going to head it. Cause Sylvie knows everything there is to know about traveling through time, because that's all she did her whole life.
Loki's overseeing something sounds nuts.
Doesn't it though? Doesn't it though?
I'm not saying that theory is wrong because it has a level and could be pulled off, but I wouldn't trust it.
One last point. A very small part of me feels like Miss Minutes may be behind this whole shit.
She could be.
Just a small part. I don't know. We haven't seen her since episode 2, 3.
Miss Minutes might be like the Red Queen of this situation. Like, all in Resident Evil, the AI was wilding. It might be. I
don't know. Just saying.
Artificial intelligence. Hey, man, I like Miss Minutes, man. That would be a damn. But she got to be more sensitive, man. She got to talk about, man, I need to see some next 2 episodes.
But see, that's the thing. Like we're so used to her being bubbly and cheerful. Like, she gonna turn this shit quick.
But why is Ravonna so scared of it? That's why I want to know what type of grapple hold does whoever it is, rather be Miss Minutes, Kang, or whoever, have over somebody that seemingly had to work their way up to be whoever they are in the TVA in the first place.
Yeah, man.
So what secrets did you learn along the way? How much do you know? and what are you protecting? That's a lot. That's a lot right there.
Yeah. So we'll see, man.
That was good. That was a good review, bro.
Episode 5. We'll see. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us this long. Please like, share, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. We'll catch y'all for episode 5.